That was not a coup d'etat. To me, a coup d'etat means bringing soldiers, for example, marching toward the presidential palace, either in Iavaloha or in Ambohitsirohitra, bringing soldiers and guns and shooting people, injuring people, arresting people. That is not what happened. What happened is what we all saw in those videos. The demands made by the Malagasy people, especially the youth who joined the movement, when the unions and all the civil servants joined in. When they made their demands, that is what happened. Injuries, arrests, detentions. That is what the government did at that time, using what is called regulatory power, in French pouvoir régulateur, which the HCC took up and used. And they appointed us, the military under my command, to lead the country and the transition. Remember that if the HCC had not taken that decision, no one knows what state Madagascar would be in today, because we were close to, civil war at that time. Without the HCC giving us that mandate, we don't know what would have happened. So it was the HCC that gave us the authority, not the power we seized at the palace. It was not a coup d'etat, it was the will of the people. I have already made several statements about that matter, that those people will be sent back to prison because at that time, things were still very tense when we were at CAPSAT, and we heard that those people were released, and we did not know who authorized it. But you can follow the court proceedings closely. There is an ongoing investigation regarding that to bring back those individuals who were released in an illegal manner. Regarding what is happening within JIRAMA, the demands made by the unions are several. First, the cancellation of the statute put in place by the previous administration, which the unions believe was meant to facilitate the privatization of JIRAMA. That is one point. The second is the dissolution of the board of directors. The third is restructuring, because there are 13 deputy general directors, which is a heavy burden for JIRAMA, and the unions are right about that. Fourth, the release of the JIRAMA employees in Mahajanga who were arrested. And the fifth and final demand is the removal of the current general director. Those are the demands made by the unions. They have already reported them to me, and we have discussed them. And I told them clearly, you have the fundamental right to express and demand what you are asking for. You can do so, but do not destroy public property and do not take the population hostage. That is what I clearly told them. The government made efforts, it moved forward. The board of directors was dissolved on Wednesday. They are now working on reviewing the statute. There is already a draft structure to reduce the number of deputy general directors from 13 to 4. That is already underway. This means the government is trying to respond to the union's demands. As for us now, we are still trying to restore cooperation with the international community, because as we all know, we are still sanctioned, including by the African Union. We are still trying to deal with that. But regardless, discussions are ongoing with the World Bank, the European Union, who are involved in those projects, to continue them. We had already considered that, but if it had been done earlier, we would not have reached the crisis of September 25th. There was an obstacle that should not have been there, and those before us know why it wasn't done. But we will move forward with it. We are waiting for recognition, then we will proceed. As you know, there is a large sum of money, up to $600 million, which the Malagasy state does not have access to today, and no one knows how it ended up abroad. So, there are two tasks for us, the Malagasy, right now. The return of Mami Ravatomanga to the country, so that the Malagasy people may judge him under Malagasy law for everything he has done to the nation. And second, our efforts to bring that money back to Madagascar. This is quite complicated because he has already prepared himself. He has several nationalities, Ivorian and Serbian, and here, Malagasy. Our Malagasy lawyers are still working on this, and the Ministry of Justice is focusing on gathering evidence to send to Mauritius so that he can be held there.